Today, we reveal the shocking truth about minerals that can end lives. Did you know that handling these seemingly innocuous rocks could lead to a deadly outcome? Stay tuned as we delve deep into the world of hazardous minerals. But remember, heed our warning. Don't touch these lethal rocks if you value your life. Number 20. Cinnabar. Cinnabar is a wine-red mineral made of mercury, and it's very dangerous despite its pretty color. Known as mercury sulfide, cinnabar is used to refine elemental mercury and has other, less safe uses. It forms in the Earth's seams after volcanic activity and near alkaline hot springs. People have valued and used cinnabar throughout history. Cinnabar has been used to make vermilion, a bright red paint, since ancient times. When ground into a fine powder, the color becomes stronger, but it also becomes easier for people to absorb its deadly toxins. In Pompeii, archaeologists found that Romans loved using cinnabar for art. They discovered colorful murals and a jar of cinnabar pigment in a shop. Romans used this vivid color for painting statues, walls, and even their bodies during religious festivals. Today, cinnabar and vermilion still exist, but the art world prefers safer artificial alternatives to the mercury-laced original. While many medieval alchemists suffered from working with it, modern artists still benefit from their risky experiments. Number 19. Chalcopyrite. Chalcopyrite is a very rare and beautiful bright blue mineral. Rock enthusiasts who like rare finds love it. It naturally forms in dry caves in specific desert areas, making it hard to collect. It's a minor copper ore often found near the surface of copper mines. Because it's so rare, chalcopyrite is also made in labs using copper sulfate solutions. This process is very dangerous and poisonous, so only experts with proper safety gear should attempt it. Some people believe this mineral can help calm the mind and prepare for meditation. However, touching chalcopyrite is poisonous, and ingesting it can make you very sick. If you handle it, wash your hands thoroughly afterward to avoid any risk of poisoning. Number 18. Stibnite. This is a cool-looking rock that looks like it's from a science fiction movie on a science project. But be careful because it has a lot of toxic properties and can even cause problems with electricity. Surprisingly, people in ancient times used stibnite to make eye makeup. Even today, in some parts of the world, it's still used to make traditional kohl eyeliner. Sometimes, they use lead sulfide instead, which can cause lead poisoning. Nowadays, in Western countries, the dangerous toxins in coal products have been replaced with safer ingredients. You can find small amounts of stibnite in many places around the world, including the United States and Europe, but it's not common in large quantities. Its unusual crystal structure and soft texture have made it useful to humans for thousands of years. Besides cosmetics, stibnite has been used since ancient Egypt. Today, it's also found in safety matches and fireworks, so there's still a bit of toxic residue in the air from these uses. Number 17. Asbestos. Most of us know that asbestos is very dangerous, but do you know much more about it? Honestly, I didn't realize it was a naturally occurring mineral. Given how harmful it is and how much of it was used in buildings before people knew it was deadly, I thought it was man-made. But no, it's a natural mineral that people used in buildings up until 1999 in the UK. In the United States, it's still legal to use in building materials, which is worrying for Americans. Asbestos is useful because it resists heat and corrosion and doesn't conduct electricity, which is helpful in construction. However, the problem with asbestos is that its delicate fibers can easily break, creating toxic dust. When inhaled, this dust can cause serious diseases like lung cancer, mesothelioma, and asbestosis. So, be careful with drywall and similar materials, as they might contain asbestos and be harmful if disturbed. Number 16. Hutchinsonite. This mineral may look nice, but it's very dangerous. It contains harmful elements like thallium, lead, and arsenic. These can cause severe and painful symptoms, and even death. Thallium is especially toxic. Even a small amount can make you very sick, cause hair loss, or kill you. This mineral should only be handled in very controlled environments with strict safety measures. You're not likely to find it in your backyard. It's mostly found in ore deposits in Europe's mountains. Number 15. Torbernite. It looks a bit like kryptonite, but instead of draining superpowers, it's deadly to humans. Torbernite contains uranium, making it radioactive. You can even buy this dangerous mineral cheaply on eBay, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. The shiny green stone should only be handled with proper safety precautions. This is especially important when extracting it, as the risk is highest if it breaks and releases dust. Breathing in the dust can be deadly. Being near Torbernite for a long time is also very dangerous, making it seem even more like kryptonite to humans. You might think it's rare to come across Torbernite, but it's actually found in places like Cornwall in the UK and Katanga province in the Congo. If you do encounter Torbernite, wash your hands and don't stick around, no matter how beautiful it is. Number 14. Quartz. There are a lot of harmful things around us, and it's surprising that we manage to stay safe. Quartz is one of these things. It looks harmless, but can be very dangerous. Quartz is the second most common mineral on Earth and is found all over the world in different types of rocks. You can't completely avoid quartz, but you don't need to panic when you see it. The danger comes from quartz dust, which can be inhaled and cause lung disease and cancer. Because of this, industries like glass manufacturing, abrasives, and mining have strict safety rules to protect workers. So, it's not a good idea to try processing quartz on your own at home. Number 13. Galina. Galina is a natural mineral made of lead sulfide. This means it's not a very healthy rock, so you shouldn't lick it. Even though it might be tempting, you'll be glad you didn't. Galina is where most lead comes from. Since ancient times, people could easily get lead from Galina by heating it up in a fire. However, lead isn't good for you. Ancient Egyptians used to put Galina around their eyes as makeup, despite the risk of lead poisoning. They also used another dangerous substance called stibnite for the same purpose. They looked beautiful, but the lead wasn't healthy for them. In the United States, Galina has been very important. It not only provides lead, but can also contain up to 0.5% silver. Because of its importance, it's the official state mineral of Kansas, Missouri, and Wisconsin. Yes, states have official minerals. Number 12. Orpiment. This rock is bright and shiny, but don't get too excited. It's full of arsenic, which is very poisonous. The bright yellow color of orpiment made it popular for artists, but it's very dangerous because it has up to 60% arsenic. Renaissance painters who used this yellow were risking their lives. Orpiment has fascinated people with its intense color since ancient times. It was used to paint the walls of King Tutankhamun's tomb, and Emperor Caligula tried to make gold from it. In India, it was used in ancient texts and on the Taj Mahal's walls. In Europe, it was used as a pigment in art until the 19th century. Despite its beauty, the arsenic in orpiment is very harmful. Number 11. Reite. If you talk to people who love rocks, they might tell you about two kinds of this mineral. One is called blue asbestos, which is very toxic. The other kind is different, but still not good. This type of Reite is usually made from volcanic rock and is harder than the asbestos kind. It's usually dark blue or black crystals and is found where there are other rocks like granite. You can find a lot of this stuff in places like Arizona, Colorado, and Massachusetts, as well as South Africa, Greenland, and Portugal. The most famous use of this stone is on the Scottish island of Ely Craig, where they use it to make curling stones. Curling is a strange winter sport where people slide big stones on ice towards a target while others sweep the ice with brooms. It's weird but interesting and a fun way to play with rocks. Number 10. Arsenalite. Wow, another rock full of dangerous arsenic. This list feels more like a mystery story than a book for geologists. It's like knowing which rocks can harm someone. Turns out, this one likes to hang out with other deadly rocks like Galina, Quartz, and Pyrite. When these rocks mingle, it's like a party of toxic minerals. The main bad stuff in this rock is arsenic. When the rock is crushed or heated, it releases even more arsenic, which can make really harmful fumes. So if you ever find yourself mining unexpectedly, stay away from the dust and fumes. Also, remember to wash your hands. Eating arsenic can give you a bad stomachache at the very least. Number 9. Arsenalite. Arsenalite is a dangerous mineral. It's like asbestos, another harmful substance. When left alone, it doesn't hurt anyone, but if you disturb it, tiny particles can float in the air. This is bad news for anyone nearby who breathes it in. The good news is that Arsenalite isn't mined for commercial use in the United States anymore. But before you celebrate, remember that other similar minerals are still used in things like animal feed and soil conditioners. And when these minerals are mined, Arsenalite can be disturbed too. In the past, Arsenalite was even used in road gravel, which was a really bad idea considering how harmful it is. Number 8. Finite. This rock holds a dangerous chemical called beryllium. It's very harmful and can cause serious diseases. Some people still like to collect it, despite the risks. They think it helps them travel to other dimensions or higher realms. But maybe it's the poison in the rock that's making them feel strange. It's important to be careful with shiny rocks. Not all of them are safe. Number 7. Hydroxyapatite. Some people think it might cause problems in your body because it's similar to what your bones are made of. But actually, it can dissolve in stomach acid and break down into calcium and phosphoric acid, which are already in your body. So the main thing is not to eat rocks. If you did eat a lot of hydroxyapatite, you might get kidney stones, but who would want to eat that much anyway? Number 6. Fluorite. People on the internet have been arguing about whether fluoride is dangerous or not, but it seems like the general agreement is that it's probably not dangerous, even though it's made up of some pretty harsh chemical elements. When these elements are by themselves, they can be really unpleasant. Fluorine, especially, is known to be really bad, but in fluorite, it's mixed with calcium, which makes it much less toxic, so that's good news. Fluorite is actually quite useful. It's used in many different parts of our modern life. The chemical industry uses it to make hydrofluoric acid, which is important for making refrigerators and fluoride chemicals. It's also used in making ceramics, glass, and enamel. Some types of fluorite are used in making steel, iron, and other metals. There's also a special kind of fluorite that's really clear, so it's used to make lenses for things like telescopes, microscopes, and cameras. So while fluorite is useful, it's probably not a good idea to hold onto it for too long or sleep with it under your pillow, just to be safe. Number 5. Parate. People have always liked shiny things. Parate is one shiny thing. Its real worth is in starting fires. The name comes from the Greek word for fire because it can make sparks to start fires. This was very important for people, but people wanted more. They wondered if it could be worth money too. That's why it's sometimes called fool's gold. People often mistook it for real gold. Even though people made mistakes with pyrite, it's sometimes found with real gold. People can even mine it to get gold or copper. It's not always as silly as people once thought. Number 4. Credite. Credite, also called blue asbestos, is a mineral that's very dangerous. If rocks could have bad intentions, this one would be up to no good. We all know asbestos is harmful, but this type is the worst. It's more likely to break into tiny pieces that can get into your lungs and cause deadly diseases like cancer. Sadly, people have used this deadly mineral in really dumb ways throughout history. Can you believe they put it in cigarette filters? And even in gas masks, meant to protect you from breathing in harmful stuff. It's like they didn't realize how dangerous it was. Number 3. Chrysotyl asbestos. We're talking about a really bad kind of asbestos. It's used a lot in building stuff in the United States. Even today, it's scary because despite knowing how sick it can make people, it's still legal to use in buildings in the USA. In the UK, they banned it in 1999, but there's still a lot of it around. It's like a dangerous thing waiting to cause problems in the future. People seem to like using it because it's good at resisting heat and insulating, but it's really harmful to breathe in. You can find this type of asbestos in many everyday things like asphalt, brake pads, cement, and plastics. It's dangerous because it can get into the air and cause serious diseases like mesothelioma, asbestosis, and lung cancer. Number 2. Feldspar. Feldspar is a common mineral found all over the Earth's crust. It's used a lot in making things like ceramics and glass, which we use for dishes and building materials. It's really handy because it helps lower the melting point of other materials when making stuff like ceramics and glass. But there's a catch. Feldspar can be dangerous if you're not careful with it. It contains uranium, which can produce a gas called radon. Even small amounts of uranium or radon can be harmful to humans. Being around feldspar too much can lead to lung cancer, which is a serious illness. So, unless you're a professional with proper safety gear, it's best to steer clear of feldspar. Number 1. Amosite asbestos. Let's talk about something dangerous called amosite asbestos. It's a type of asbestos which is really harmful to breathe in. It's called amosite asbestos too. This kind is the easiest to breathe into your lungs, so it's super important to avoid it. Amosite asbestos has needle-like fibers that can easily break and embed into your lungs, causing serious health problems like mesothelioma. It was commonly used until the 1970s in buildings and even in steel because it's strong and can resist heat. But it's really bad for our health, so we should stop using it altogether. Some people think crystals have special powers, but maybe they're just holding on to something dangerous like radioactive rocks. Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to check out other interesting things on the screen. See you next time.